Second grade, hello. So last week you drew a cat. Maybe yours looks something like this. And today we are going to add the color to it. And so what I want to talk to you about is different art materials that you can use to add the color. I don't know what you have at home. You may have crayons, you may have colored pencils, may have markers, and I'm going to talk to you about how to use those and which ones to use where. And so I think as an art teacher, one of the decisions that artists make all the time is what kind of materials they're going to use and how they're going to use them. And so I happen to have markers, crayons, and colored pencils. And so what I want to talk to you about is using marker or colored pencil for the small areas and using crayon for the larger spaces. So let's get started. We know that Laurel Burch uses really bright and vivid colors. And so I'm going to choose some pink first. And these small shapes I'm making pink. I can make them all pink on the outside. If you have colored pencil, whoops, let me just finish these real quick. Marker and colored pencil I feel like are good for small details because they have a small point. See, maybe I'm gonna do this part purple. And you can switch it up if you want. If I feel like I need more design, I can just go ahead and add that, even though I've already sort of finished drawing. If I think, well, maybe I need some more stripes, or maybe I want to finish my circles, or maybe I want these claws to be a shape so I can fill them in as a different color. You can go back today, and even if you feel like you finished it, maybe you're going to make some decisions about your artwork now that you're adding the color. And that is totally a great thing to do. I'm going to make this one a little bigger. I'm going to put another bigger triangle in here. So as I'm adding the color today, if I feel like I need to draw a little bit more, I can do that for sure. Just make some small triangles all by themselves to fill this body in a little bit more. That will also give me less of a solid area. Okay, I am not going to color this whole thing in front of you today, but let's just jump to colored pencil. And this is a small space. I'm going to use colored pencil, and I can press pretty hard with that colored pencil to get a dark shape happening there. And we know that with colored pencil, we can also press lightly too. So if I had big areas, I would press really lightly. Oops, let's slide this out of the way. Okay. Do I have a pink? Yes. Remember, this is your artwork, so please make your choices. This is not Miss Eworth did it, let me copy it, right? We're being inspired by artists around us. We're thinking about some of the art decisions they made. And then we are thinking about some of those ideas for our own. So maybe you're not even going to have triangles. And maybe you're not going to use purple and pink. Maybe your cat's going to be orange and blue and green and brown. Okay. Let me show you now something else that I can do with the colored pencils. When you're adding color to something with colored pencil, if you want to define the lines and really show that shape, you can press hard with the colored pencil. And then to fill it in, you can press lightly. And you're going to get something that looks like this. Do you see how the edges are a little bit darker? And so on the edges, I'm pressing harder to get a nice line of color. And then inside, I'm going to press softly. Okay, now let's talk about crayon. I can do the same thing with crayon where I make the edges darker and then fill in the middle lighter. Try that again, and I'm just going to go back over the edges. You don't have to do it this way. You don't have to make dark edges. It's just a different way to use your art materials. But I would recommend that you fill in the body with crayon because it's such a large space. I think that if you were using marker or colored pencil, it would take a really, really, really long time. And so that's how to use some crayon in some smaller areas. Let's see, maybe I'm going to use, I like this color. It's called Scarlet. It's like a red-orange for my body. And I'm going to take a few minutes and trace around my details first before I color in them. So, I'm sort of tracing the outside edges because then that's going to help me stay in these lines a little better. It's going to help my crayon not go into the shapes when I color. I am looking for some awesome second grade coloring in. And that's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of control of your art material. So even if you're moving your crayon a little quickly, you can still be in control of it. Sometimes Laurel Burch has a couple colors happening together. And so if I want, I could even sort of fade the red-orange into orange or yellow. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So if I want to blend those two colors or fade them, what I'm going to do, and that's going to happen right here, I'm going to go really super soft. So there's just a little bit of this first color. Here you can see it's a little darker. I've got a little bit more pressure happening. Come around this triangle. You can also see how I'm turning my paper, right? Okay, so here it's super soft. Then I'm going to take the color that I want it to blend into. I think I've got yellow-orange. And I'm going to come with the yellow-orange and go over it with a little bit more pressure so that both colors are happening here. And then I'm just going to have the yellow-orange here. If you're blending colors, I think you should have colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So that means red is going to blend really well with orange, or red is going to blend really well with purple. And blue is going to blend really well with purple or with green. Yellow is going to blend well with green or with orange. And so now I sort of have those colors changing and blending as they sort of overlap and both happen in this space. You might need to press a little bit harder with the lighter color, whichever color is lighter. You could also do two kinds of blue or two kinds of green, dark green into light green or light green into dark green. Because my face is a closed form, that means it's a closed shape. I'm going to choose a different color for the background of my face. Let's see, maybe I'll try light green. And here with my whiskers, because they're in marker, I can just go whoops right over top of them. Okay, I think that is the time that we have for a video today. Can't wait. Take a picture of your really awesome, all the way colored in, cool, crazy designed